Welcome to day 3 of Red Rocks to Mountaintops. We're not coming back to the cabin, so we need to get all packed up and fully loaded. We're getting an early start because we have a pretty big day scheduled.
Seth wasn't here to play.
That's right.
We are heading up the $1 Million Highway again. This is an awesome section, and I always have a hard time focusing on the road because I'm always checking out the scenery. Coming out of Ouray, you've got 2 route options. We're planning to take the harder alternate up to Black Bear and down to Telluride. The regular route goes through Ophir Pass and has more pavement and a little easier dirt. However, there are a few things you're going to want to know. If you're taking the regular route, you'll want to fuel up in Ouray. If you're going over Black Bear, you can fuel up in Telluride. It's only about 25 miles away. And another thing to note is that Black Bear is a one-way route. It has some steep descents on the backside that will push your technical skills on the bike. After another beautiful run up the $1 Million Highway, we turn off for Black Bear.
Black Bear Pass, 4-wheel. Started.
You are quickly above the tree line and driving along the tundra. Like the other passes we've hit so far on the ride, Black Bear has some incredible views as you ascend to the top. The views get even better on the way down. This trail is definitely a trail that makes you want to hug the inside line. The drop down the pass is definitely what you would call climactic. It starts getting a bit challenging as you first get a glimpse of Telluride far below. The loose rolly rocks get your attention. Then you start adding some steps. Then you get right to the final drop. The sound of the waterfall should give you a hint of what is coming. This is definitely a place where you want to take your time and keep those brakes cool. I'm sure Scotty is appreciating his rear brake today. The elevation drop isn't that crazy, but you combine the sound of the waterfall, the skidding tires, the town a mile below, and the edge of the cliff that all contribute to the elevated heart rate. If you're watching from behind, it almost looks like your mates are dropping off into oblivion. It's quite a sight to see. Again, just take your time and don't be ashamed if you want to hug the inside. While Josh humbly nails the section with no dabs, the rest of us are gathering our wits down below. Ray, the flower child, even sneaks in a quick new LinkedIn profile pic. Shane is still having a few electrical gremlins popping up. The fan only works when the bike is turned to the right. We think the solution is easy, just don't turn left. We looked at the obvious and decided to keep going and keep a close eye on it. The switchbacks down the mountain are very cool. You also pass right under Bridalveil Falls. At 365 feet, it is the tallest free-falling falls in Colorado. Of course, we all try to no-dab the switchbacks going down. This is the last time through Telluride, so if you're interested, definitely take a look around. So just coming out of Black Bear Pass, it is always a challenge for your technical skills, but you know, it's kind of funny because we always mess with each other. And now we've got the comms, we're always getting each other amped up, saying, oh man, you're gonna get hung up on your skid plate, or you're gonna slide right off the mountain right down into Telluride. And it's a little sketchy, but you know, it's all right. We always seem to get down it. Now that we've got some fuel, we got a little piece of slab. It's pretty. We're working our way down towards Rico, but yeah, we're gonna head over, we're gonna check out some more mountain passes and get going towards Utah. The slab section towards Rico is just long enough to relax and rest a little bit before the next dirt section. You really can't beat Colorado in the fall. We pull off the pavement and get onto some nice forest roads that'll take us across towards Dunton. The roads from the highway and Dunton over to the Groundhog Reservoir are Colorado forest at its finest. Plenty of pine trees, quaking aspen, and long vistas. Just mind the off-camber turns. We seem to always get someone on the comm units talking about how they almost washed the front end on these marbled forest roads. Groundhog Res is a good place to take a little break, and we get a short glimpse of desert environment that we're used to in Utah. From Groundhog Reservoir, it leads us to our next section that'll take us all the way into Naturita. This is another longer section that is worth turning up the music and just enjoying the ride. These high mountain meadows have given us bear sightings twice now. This time, Mama Bear had a cub, so we were very glad they were running away. We are dropping down to grab the Disappointment Creek Road. Apparently this section is part of the TAT, that's the Trans-America Trail, and we ran into a guy one day out here that was low on water. I think it was the only other person we have ever seen traveling this stretch and doing it 6 or 7 times. We spread out across a long dirt section, and eventually we get to the highway that'll take us into Naturita for some grub and fuel.
All right, Eric, how was lunch?
Oh, dude, lunch was awesome. We always stop at Blondie's here in Naturita, and they make an awesome burger. But now we just need to grab some fuel. We'll head out of Naturita, and we've got a slab section. But it's kind of cool because we're heading towards Paradox Valley, and the reason it gets its name is because the river, instead of going down the valley, goes across the valley. So it's kind of cool to check out. There's some good views and stuff, so let's go hit it. As we climb out of Paradox Valley, we have the choice to take the harder alternate or the easier main route. And of course, we chose the harder alternate. This section is a good luggage testing section. If we're not scrubbing it off on trees and bushes, we are pounding the G-outs and washouts. Regardless, for guys like us, it's some of the best riding you can get on an adventure bike. The reason this section is a harder alternate is this hill. Troy makes it look easy on the big gal. Ray can touch the ground, and we are all jealous at some point. Justin has his crazy fast twitch muscles. Mick is just a victim of the KLR flexin'. And then we blame Scotty's issues on his super tweaked bars and tall gearing. Twice.
Give us a thumbs up.
And then to round it out, we have the platinum back old guys showing us how it's done.
So coming up the hill, you don't always have control over your direction, so I somehow ended up in a dead tree and snapped this off. I thought it went in my foot, but it was just stuck on my foot peg for a second. But hey, made it up. We're good to go. We'll be in Monticello before you know it.
All right, so we're just sitting on the actual route. So the harder alternate comes together with the regular route. That's where we're sitting right now. Up ahead of us is some beautiful stuff. We got kind of this 2-track that we're gonna show you. But you know, any of this area in here, you can go ahead and camp all the way to Monticello, or even in Monticello. They've got motel rooms, restaurants. We're actually gonna go ahead and camp up on top. So just up the hill a little bit out of Monticello, but make sure and enjoy this next section. It is cool. These fun, flowy 2-track sections always seem to bring out the game of cat and mouse. It's another reason why we like having the comms units to talk a little smack as we're messing with each other. We end up passing by an open pit copper mine on a big paved road out in the middle of nowhere on our way to more of the good stuff. It's being able to see things like this that make an adventure so interesting for us. It's not likely you'd see this kind of stuff in any other fashion. After one more little section of fun, with some slower technical rock spots as we are on our way towards Church Rock and Monticello. We took a vote and decided Church Rock should be called Tugboat Rock. What do you guys think? It is just a short stretch into town for some fuel again. Again, there's some great camping up above Monticello, or you can get a motel. We head up to camp and call it a day. That concludes day 3 of Red Rocks to Mountaintops. In day 4, we head back out into the deep Red Rocks, run out of gas, and finish up the route back into Moab. If you haven't already, make sure to check out the blog and subscribe so you don't miss a beat.